asked Adeyemi and Yetunde. So what about you, Paul and Anna? Were you able to watch the recorded session? I want to believe others will join us soon. Were we able to watch it?
Okay, I
Yes.
was,
Okay.
but I
Or
didn't practice it because I
you
chatted
didn't?
you up this afternoon, like about the issue I'm having. But definitely by night, I should be able to resolve it.
Okay. Okay. Okay, were you the person with the name Skynet?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were the one. Okay, I just hope you're able to resolve that soon. So let's just start. I'll start sharing my screen now. So we stopped there at CTE. So we'll just do one more example on CTE and move to our project for today. Can we see my screen? Can we see my screen, please?
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Yes, we can
So I
see
was
it.
saying in the last class how that CTEs, these common table expressions, are their temporary result set that you can use for complex queries and they can be referenced. And one of the usefulness or one of the reasons why we use CTE is the fact that it makes our queries readable and reusable. That anyone that sees whatever you work on using a CTE understands perfectly what you've done. So let's just do one more example using CTE. So let's assume I want to find high earning customers. We have a customer table here where we have the annual income of customers. So we want to see high earning customers. If I'm going to create this using CTE, and the CTE is always used with the with clause, I would say with what? With, I have to give it a name. So what is going to be the name of my CTE? With high earning. So let me just high earning customers as, then I will just open the bracket. So I want to type in my base query now. So what is going to be my base query? So it's going to be select. So what do I want to select? I want to select the customer key, comma. I want to select the first name because the question is to find high earning customers. And let's not forget how that we classified this. If you remember one of our example, when we're using the switch function, let's assume that these high earning customers are those that earn above 150,000. So customer key, first name, comma, the last name, comma, then the annual income. Then the next thing is, where is this data? Where are these feeds coming from? They are coming from the dim customer. So dim customer. Then what is, I want to filter out those that earn above 150. I would say where the annual income is greater than 150,000. Then I'll close this. This is the base query. But I'm not done. All this here, this is the city that I've created. But city doesn't work only if you write another query to query off this table. So what do I want now? I would say select. I can say select, either select all or specify feeds I want to select. So I can say, okay, select. I only want to see the customer, the full name of these people that are earning above 150. I'll just say, okay, maybe select the first name, the last name from the CTE we just calculated, we just created now. Earning customers. I can't run this alone like this. It's not going to work. It will not work. The only time it will work is if I query everything like this and press F5. So if it's not giving us a result, let's check. So first name, this first name is not correct. First name. So I think I'm okay now. So let's run this. And this is giving us results. All these are customers that are earning annual income above $150,000. So what with CTE do? With CTE, you can first run your calculations, Then once you are done running your calculations, then you query off that table that you created based on the calculations you've made. So one thing about CTEs is that they are not saved anywhere in your database. The moment I'm done with this session and I close this session, I won't find them again. Only if I run them over and over again. So for you to get result from this CTE, this common table expression you've created now, you have to keep running all over again. You can query off this CTE you've created. And like I said, it will not work alone if I try to just run all this. You have to write a query that would query off this CTE you've created. So that's that. Although we still have a lot of things. Like I said, if you're dealing with complex queries, you use CTEs. This is not it's not that complex. I don't have a complex example I want to give us. I'll not blow off our heads. But I'll share with us resources where you can check to learn more about SQL, because SQL is very broad and it takes you to practice every time before you can grasp the whole concept or not even forget what you've learned. But it's very, very simple. As long as you understand English language, you can understand SQL. So just let me just quickly run through, give you sites that you can use to, apart from the videos you can watch on YouTube, there are sites that I used when I was learning SQL. There is one is W3 School. How many of us have heard of W3 School? So W3 School is a powerful place, a powerful platform where you can learn, SQL. Like, do I have it here? Do I have W3 School here? Yes, I would. Let me just add plus sign and W3 School. Yes. So this is, you can learn SQL from this platform. Just come here once you open or click on www.w3 School, and it opens the site. Just select SQL, and you see there are different things you can learn on SQL. Different things you can learn from this platform here. Another platform or another site you can learn SQL from is yes, tutorials points. Tutorials points. You can also learn SQL from here as well. You can, you learn a lot from that site, as well as mode. Yes, in mode too, you learn SQL from mode, different things there. So I would share the link with us, maybe add it to our Google Classroom so you can go over them. There are different examples you can try out, even more than what we did in this boot camp. Just watch, try them out, practice. So let's just go straight to our, I don't want us to waste too much time today. Let's just go straight to our project. So this is how many of us saw this? I posted it on our Google Classroom. So this is what we're working on today. Okay, so we have North America sales retail optimization analysis. North America Retail is a major retail company operating in multiple locations, offering a wide range of products to different customer group. They focus on excellent customer service and a smooth shopping experience. As a data analyst, your job is to analyze their sales data to uncover key insights on profitability, business performance, product, and customer behavior. So you will work with a data set containing details on products, customers, the sales, profit, and returns. Your findings will help identify areas for improvement and suggest strategies to boost efficiency and profitability. So we have our objective here. What are you going to do? Project objective. The first thing is data integration and normalization. So transform the raw data set given to you into a star schema with one fact table. So you have splitting into fact and dimension tables. Remember how we created model in Microsoft Excel, how you split the data into fact and dimension table. We'll do that here in SQL. Then ensure data consistency and accuracy by removing redundant information and using unique keys for dimensions. Then once you are done creating a model, what then you would do is answer these questions. Run your analysis and answer these questions. Question on what is the average delivery days for different product subcategory? What was the average delivery days for each segment? What are the top 5 fastest delivered product and top 5 slowest delivered product? Which product subcategory generates most profit? Which segment generates the most profit? Which top 5 customers made the most profit? Then what is the total number of products by subcategory? So we're going to be doing this together. I'll ask questions, you answer. We'll all rack our brains together to make sure we fix this. So let's just go back straight to our SQL, to our SSMS, I mean. The first thing I would like to do is to create a new database. So I'll come here. Yeah, you can get your data set here at the bottom here, download data set. So once you're working, just download it here. So I'll go back here and I'll come here to databases. So remember I told you can either use your create database command or just come here, right click and new database. Then I'll click on new database here. And once it pops up, type in your database name. So I'm going to give this North America sales is going to be my database name. Then I'll hit OK. So we have this here. The next thing I want to do is to bring in the data that I want to work on. So I'll right click, then come here to tax, and I'll go straight down to import flat file. So I'll hit import flat file, move next to go and bring in the data. I'll browse where that file is on my system, and it's currently, no, it's not here. It's here in myDataClique. So I'll bring in this one first, open. Okay, so I'm okay with this. I don't want to leave this new database, new table name to be the default name. I want to change it to sales retail. Just sales retail will be the name. I'm okay with this. Then I'll hit next. So there's a preview of, it's showing us a preview of the data. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to hit next. So I'm going to hit, you have to check if the data type are correct. So for the order ID, end voucher, order date, ship date, the ship mode, checking the data type if they match what is in that table. So sometimes you might have to inspect that data in Microsoft Excel to see how it looks like and understand what type of data it is before coming to your SQL. So I've checked it and I've seen that, okay, it's actually picked the correct data type for it. Then you can just either check primary key. So let's assume you check this primary key and you hit next, finish. Then you should bringing this operation failed, and I come here to check the error. Why is it? So it's telling us that there's violation of primary key constraints. Cannot insert duplicate key in the object dbo.sales retail. It means that we have duplicates in that column for order ID. So it's not going to allow us to use the primary key. So I'll just go back and uncheck. I'll go back and uncheck that primary key box. So I can just go back, take it into my SSMS and remove duplicate from there. But let's just next. So I'm just telling you in case you're trying to import data and once you check that box for adding a primary key, then it's showing you error that you have duplicate. Just go back and uncheck the box, then bring it in like that without clicking into the box. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, it has brought in the data close. Click on this plus sign, go to tables to see the data. We have it here, dbo.sales retails. So we have it here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to create a new query that I want to use to work on this. First, let me save this one, Control S to save, then come here and hit new query. And I'll close this particular one. Okay. Yes. I'll close this one as well. I only want to work with this one. Then the next thing I want to do is, remember how when you bring in data, first let's select all the data and see. Select all from sales retail. So I have to wrap this round square bracket, else it will not work. But it's not going to work still. I'll now ask you why. You tell me why it's not working. So I'll run this now, F5. So you can see it says invalid object name, sales retail. So who can tell me why it's bringing this error? Anybody wants to tell me why it's bringing this error? Anybody? Let's say
All right, you
something
have
new.
not selected the database you are working with.
Exactly. We are
You have not
currently using Clique
selected the
1.
database you are working with.
Yes, thank you. We are using Clique 1 instead of the North American sales database.
Yeah.
So instead I come here and change it to the North America sales, or I just use the command use sales retail. But I'll go ahead with this one. So when I run this again now, it should give me all the data here in this place, in this table. for sales retails. So the next thing I would like to do now is I want to split into fact tables and dimension tables. Remember, if you want to create now in Excel on Power BI, we call them data model, but here we call it ERD, entity relationship diagram. Here in SQL, it's called ERD, entity relationship diagram. So I want to split the tables into fact and dimension tables. Who can remind me what fact tables are and what dimension tables are? What are fact tables? What are dimension tables? Anybody? We've done this in Excel. What are fact tables? What are dimension tables? I don't want Adeyemi this time around. Someone else should answer. What are fact tables? What are dimension tables? Anybody?
All right, let's just
Okay.
not waste time.
Okay. All right. Help us out.
Okay, fact tables contains exactly fact tables contains all measures about the data sets, particularly
Okay.
measures
Okay.
that includes the sales, the cost, the price, the profit, while the dimension tables describes the fact table.
Exactly. So apart from the fact that fact table contains measures, it also contains the foreign keys, which are like the primary keys in dimension tables. I said that the foreign keys, which are the primary keys in the dimension tables. Why dimension tables describes the fact table. So I want to start splitting now. First, we have to first recognize what the entities of this business are, or what the entities in this data set, what they are. Then use their attribute to split them into fact and dimension tables. So first thing, let's go to look at this data together. What are the entities of this data? What can you see? What are the entities of the data? Don't forget entities. Oh, I said entities are what makes up a business. They're like systems that makes up the business. So what are the entities of this data now? Entities first. Number one is what?
The
Customer.
We have
the
cost.
Good. Customer. Thank
the
you very much.
segment,
After
the
customer, we have what?
customer, the segment,
The
No.
location.
After
We
customer, we
have
have what?
others.
product.
Now, one after the other, please. Adeyemi said customer. Fine. Yes, she's correct. Someone else help me. After customer is what?
The location.
Location
Customer
too. Thank
center.
you very much. After location, what else do we have?
Products.
Product.
Product. Three. Good. Even if we have retail sales people here, it's also an entity as well. Then what else do we have again? I think that's all. We have the customer, the location, then we have the product. There's also salespersons, but we can decide to split into dimensions and not to, since it's the only column here for salesperson. So might decide to and decide not to. We'll just decide not to split this one for salespersons into dimension table. So how do I split? So how do I create a table from this table? So I'd come here. Don't forget, I said always add comments to your data, to your queries, so that anybody reading it understands what you've done. So I would say to create a dim customer table from the sales retail table. So to do this, I'm going to use select all into dim customer. So this is if I want to create a new table of another table, I'll use this command, select all into dim customer from, so from where? So here, I'm going to be having a subquery where I'm getting all data into this new table called dim customer coming from the sales retail table. So what do I want to select from this sales retail table? I would say select what? I would only select everything about customers. I would say select. What are those things about customer? What are the attributes of customers here? We have customer ID. So I'll say select customer ID underscore ID, comma, customer name, underscore name. That's all. That's the only two things about customer. From where? Select customer ID, select customer name from the sales retail table, and I'll close my parentheses. Select into dim customer from, this is what I wanted to draw out from the sales retail table, then I'll say as what? Let me just give it an alias of dim C for dim customers, because you have to add an alias to it. So I'll run this now, F5. So we have 1,980 rows affected. If I want to be sure that it has only selected the customer ID and customer name into the dim customer, I will just come here and query to get to be sure. I say select all from dim customers. Dim customer. Then I'll run this. Let's see if it has added it into this new table, F5. And you can see that we have a new table with the customer ID and the customer name alone. But don't forget that anytime you split into fact and dimension table, you must make sure that we don't have duplicates in the dimension table. So how do I remove duplicate from this dim customer? To do this, I'm going to use CTE. I'll create a CTE to remove that duplicate. This is one of the ways I use CTE. So when I'm working with building a building ERD in SQL, I like using CTE to remove duplicates from my tables. So I'll come here and say, okay, I'll just give it the name CTE underscore dim C, because I want to remove duplicate from this dim customer as what? Open my parenthesis and say select the customer name, it is ID first, customer underscore ID, comma, customer underscore name. So I'm saying select customer ID, select customer name. So I'm going to use a window function here. And what is a window function? I know I didn't teach us this in the last class, but I will do that now. A window function is that function that performs calculations across a set of table rows that are somehow related to a current row. And we have two type of window. It's use the over clause most of the time. It uses more over clause than partition by. So we have two types of window functions. We have the aggregate window function and we have the ranking window function. We'll look at the ranking now. But I also maybe do one example on the aggregate window function. But let's look at ranking now because I want to use row number. So examples of this window function under ranking, we have the row number, we have the rank, there are others as well. So we're looking at row number here. So what I want to do is to assign row numbers to every of the records in this dim customer. So if you have a row number that appears more than once, it will assign numbers to them. So if I have a particular record that appeared like 3 times, it will give 1 to the first one, 2 to the second one, then 3 to the third one. So let's see first. So I'll say select customer ID, customer name. Then I'll say row number. Row number is row, look at here, row number. Then I'll open my parentheses like this. Row number over what? I'll open my parentheses again. Like I said, window functions uses the over clause. Over what? Partition by what? I want to partition by all the values, all this field in this dim customer. So I'll copy it here and paste it here. Control V. Partition by customer ID, customer name. Then order it by the customer ID. Customer ID underscore ID in descending order. Sorry, in ascending order, ASC. Then I'll close my parentheses and I'll give it as row number. Don't worry, I'll show you the implication of what we're doing now. From where is all this data coming from? It is coming from the dim customer. Dim customer. Let me close my parentheses. So we have this. Let's run this inside and see the result we'll get. What this is going to do is to assign row numbers to the records in the dim customer. So let's run this. I'll press my F5 and run this. So you can see we have row numbers assigned to the records here. Let me just minimize this. So you can see we have records. We have row numbers assigned to the records. So let's look at this together. Look at this person. When you're saying 1, it means it's just that one. You're saying for Alex, this customer ID 1, this customer ID 1, this customer ID 1, this one 1. But when you come here, you're seeing this AA1064, it appears 8 times. Look at it. It appeared 8 times. So what it did was, for the first one, it assigned 1 to it. Then others, it assigned other values, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can see here that this particular person, the record of this person appeared 8 times in this table. So going straight, looking at everything, you can see we have this person appeared twice. The record of this person appeared twice in the table. Look at this one as well, twice. Look at this one as well, twice. Scrolling down, anywhere you have record appearing more than twice, it assigned row numbers to them to let you know the number of times they appeared. So how then do I remove this duplicate? I'll now come here and say, I'll come here and I would say delete delete all. Oh, sorry, delete from where? From CTE underscore DIMC, where row number, where the row number is greater than 1. Because I wanted to remove all the duplicates. Don't forget I said that when you are running CTE, I can't just run all this like this. It will not give me any results. I have to run a query that would query off this CTE that I created. So I'll press my F5 to run it, and you can see 1,287 rows affected. If I want to be sure that duplicate have been removed, I have to select, let's select all from the dim customer. Then I'll come here and say select all from dim customer and run this. Before we had like 1,900 and something. If I run this now, F5, if you come here, you see we have 693 rows. So it removed all the duplicates. So I just created the dim table for customers now. So I want to create a dim table for products. Next, I think is the next one product or location. So let's look at it. I can actually create any one first though, but let me just run. Let's follow it. So after customer, we have the segment. We have segment, sorry, then country, city, state, and postal code. So I'll come here and I want to create a dim location table from the sales retails table. So what do I do? Using the command select all into the new table, which is dim location. Okay. From where? Then I would write a subquery to where the data is going to come from select. So what am I selecting? If I'm going to arrange the order. In this case, for my dim location, the postal code is going to serve as the unique identifier for the dim location table. So I'll start with the postal code. I would say postal underscore code, then comma. After postal code, I can now come back here. Then I would pick country next, country, comma, then city, comma, then state. You have another, but I think that's all. Okay, we also have region, then region. So I'm okay with this, comma. Then I'm going to add a row number because, okay, sorry, we are creating the table. So just this one now. The postal code, the country, the city, state, region. From where is it coming from? From the sales retail. Then I'll close my parentheses and I will give it an alias as what? As dim L for dim location, like that. So I'm going to run this now. Set select all into dim location from where? So I'm selecting all this from the sales retails into this new table called dim location. Then I'll run this F5. 1,980 rows affected. And how do I see if it is, although it's showing successful, but how do I see all the records in the new table I just created? So I'll say select all from dim location, And let's run this and see, highlight, then press F5. And you can see we have a new table that was gotten from the sales retails table. I want it as well. And how do I remove duplicates? So first, let me just comment on this to say to remove duplicates from the dim customers table. Okay, so I want to remove duplicate from the dim location table now. I'll create a CTE and I'll say with CTE, you can use any name. Just make sure it's a name that you can, anyone that sees it understands what you've done. Even if you add your comments, they will also understand. With CTE underscore dim L as what? I would say select. So it has to be everything in this new table you just created. Select the postal code, postal underscore code, comma, the country, comma, the city. Okay. The country, the city, comma, the state. So I won't be state before city, but let's continue. State, comma, region. Then I would assign row numbers to it. Row number, row underscore, you'd have seen it as you're typing it. Row underscore number, you see this like this. Over, this is a window function, don't forget. Open my parentheses, over what? Then I'll partition based on everything. Partition by, I'll partition based on everything that is here. So I'll copy all this here, Control C, paste it here. I wanted to partition based on all the fields in this dim location table. Then once I'm done partitioning, I would say order the partition by the postal code, which is the unique identifier, postal code in ascending order. Then I'll close my parentheses and the whole of everything here, we're going to give it a name. Alias is to be row number. Alias as row number. Don't forget, we have to specify where this data is coming from the dim location table. And I'll close the point. And like I said, CT would not work only if you write a query that will query off that data that the CT you just created, which is deletes from. But first, let's run this and see if it has assigned the row number to. So F5 to run this first, and you can see we have row number. So you can always test if it has assigned row numbers and to see if you also have duplicate as well. From here, looking at this, you can see that we have duplicate. You can see this to 1, 2. We have records of this particular postal code appear twice, 1752, 1752. So this is evident that we have duplicates in this record. Looking at this as well, 1841, 1841, like it appeared 5 times. So same thing for 1852. So we have duplicates. Very true. So I'll take the delete from the CTE underscore dim L, where you have to specify where, else you should delete everything. So where what? Where the CTE underscore dim L. Sorry. Where the row number is greater than 1. So anything greater than 1 here, it only keep those ones with the row number 1, 1, 1. Anyone other than 1 we deleted because they are duplicates, of course. So I'm done with this now. I will run this. Before we run now, look at this, the number of records we have here. So you have to be inspecting them. If I run this for the main dim location, before we remove duplicates, it is 1,980 rows. Once I remove duplicates now, F5, we have over 1,503 rows affected. If I come here and run it, after it has removed all the duplicates, let's see what is left. We have over 447 rows left. The next thing, I want to create a table for product. So I'll come here, comment on it to create the table for product from the sales retails, from sales retails table. So I'll come here using the same select. So let's run everything and see the feeds we have for product ID for the products there. F5. So I can start seeing what I want to bring in. So select all into what's the new table name? I'll give it dim product to be the table name. Dim product from where? So what are the attributes of the entity product here? What are the attributes of the entity product? Are we together? Are you following me? Am I the only one here?
Product ID.
Good. Product ID. So I would say select. So let's do this. Select the product underscore ID, comma. Then we have the category, comma. Then we have subcategory underscore category. That's sub underscore category, comma. Then we have the product name, product underscore name. Then what else do we have? I think that's all. That's the only thing we have on this. So select product ID, subcategory, category, product name from. Specify where it's coming from. It is coming from the sales retails table, the original table. Good. Then I'll close my parenthesis for that. As, don't forget to alias that as what? I'm giving it a short distance as dim p. So if I run this now, this should create a new table drawing out those feeds we specified from the sales details table. So I'll press F5 to run that. So we have another 1,980 rows affected. How do I see the records? I'll just come here, use the select statement to retrieve the data from that field, from that table, I mean. Select all from dim product. Then I'll run this and press F5. Oh, sorry. Press F5 and you can see we have all the records here. So how do I remove duplicate from this table? We already seen duplicates here from here. We are seeing duplicate already. You can see we have duplicate already. So I want to remove duplicates. To remove duplicates now, I didn't comment on this. To remove duplicates from the dim the dim location table. Okay, good. So now let's remove duplicate from this one. Can someone put me through on how I'm going to remove duplicate from this one? I've shown us. I have to create a CTE. So with CTE underscore, I'll give this dim p as what? Open my parentheses and I'm going to say select the product ID, product underscore ID, comma, the category, comma, the subcategory, comma, the product name, product underscore name, comma. Then after that, I would add, I want to give it a row number. So I would say row number, row underscore number, open parenthesis. So you can just double click on this one, open parenthesis and close it. Then over, open my parenthesis, over what? I'll partition the whole thing, partition it based on audio feeds in that table, partition by, so I'll come here and copy all this one here. Control C, then paste it here. Then order by the primary key there, that is the unique identifier, which is the postal code. Order by postal code. Postal underscore code. What do you say?
Product ID.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God. Product. Thank you very much for calling my attention to that. Product ID underscore ID. So I'll give all this here a name. I'll call it as the row number. So you can see this, select the product ID, category, so category, product name, then adding a row number to it, partitioning it by all the fields, product ID, category, so category, and product name, order by the product ID. Then I gave the whole thing here. From here to here is what is aliased as the row number. But I have to specify where it's coming from. From where? It's coming from the dim product table. Dim product table, close my parentheses, and I said CT doesn't work until you create a query of it. So I'd say delete from where? Delete from CTE underscore, delete from CTE underscore DP, sorry, underscore DP, where what? Okay, so hold on, please. Okay, so are we together? So where the row number that I specified, where row num is greater than 1. So I'll run this now, and that should remove the duplicates. F5. So we have 1,625 rows affected. So what do I want to do? Let's select and see the result. Select all from, or let's just, okay, select all from dim product. Dim products, and I'll run this. F5. So this is a record here. You can see we have over from 1,980 rows, we now have 355 rows. So the next thing I want to do is to create a dim calendar. So we're given a calendar. If you check the data, we're given a calendar already. So I'm going to bring that calendar in. So come here to my this database for the North American sales. Right click, then go to tags, and I will import a flat file. Then I'll come here next, browse where that data is, and this is it here, calendar date. So I'll bring it in. I'll change the name from calendar date to dim calendar. Dim calendar. Then I would hit next. So we have all this here. You can see the calendar previewed. Then I'm going to hit next. What is the primary key? I'll make this the primary key. Then I'll hit next. Next. So you can see it's showing it inserted successfully. So I'll come here, go back. This is telling you the name of your SQL server, the database that is going to bring this data into, what the table name is going to be, and where the data was imported from. So just go back, close this. So would have it here. So how do I know if it is here? I have to refresh it. So refresh. How do you refresh? Click on tables in the North American sales database, refresh, and you'd see the table we just brought in. You can see dim calendar here. So I'm done. I've created the table for dim calendar, dim customer, location, product. And so we have one more table to bring in. And what is that table? We've created a our dimension table. What are we looking for now? What table are we creating now?
Our fact table.
Good, our fact table. So I'll come here and say to create our fact table, our sales fact table. Doing the same thing over again, I would come here and say select all into, let me just give this others fact table. Okay, then from where? From, open my parentheses, and I'll say select. So now let's run all the data in the sales fact table to see what we want to bring in. So I'll run on everything. F5. So now let's start looking at what we want to bring in. I'll come here, select. What are we selecting? Select the order ID. So can you just quickly point out those things we are going to bring into the order fact table? The order ID, comma, we'll bring the order date, order underscore date, comma, we'll bring the ship date, ship underscore date, comma, we'll bring the ship mode, the ship underscore mode, comma. Then the next thing we'll bring is Now we'll bring in the customer ID. So why are we bringing customer ID? Anybody? Why are we bringing in customer ID? We are creating a fact table here. So why are we bringing in customer ID? What's going to be the usefulness of customer ID in this fact table?
To connect it with the customer table.
Okay, good. Thank you. To connect it, to link it. So it's here. It's going to serve as a foreign key in the fact table. So I'll type in the customer ID, customer underscore ID, comma. And the next thing I want to bring in the, okay, so I want to bring in the postal code. So postal underscore code, postal code, comma. Then I want to bring in what? I want to bring in the retail salesperson as well. I didn't create a dimension to product person. So retail underscore sales people, comma, then product ID, product underscore ID, comma. Then let's scroll again. We have to be sure of what we want to bring in. Then I'll bring in the returned, comma. Then I'll bring in sales, comma. I'll bring in quantity, comma. I'll bring in discount. All these are the measures. Discount, comma. I'll bring in profit. So let me see. Do I have anything I want to bring in again? So let's look at it again. What we want to bring in? We are bringing in the order ID. It is here. Order date, ship mode, the segment. We have segments here. After customer ID, we didn't add a segment. So let's bring in segment. Although we should have added in segment to the customer table, but let's just do it here. Segment. We have the postal code. We have the retail salesperson, product ID. Please, when doing your own, add the segments to the customer table, not the other fact table. So we have the retail persons, the product ID, the returned,
I've
the
already
sales.
done my own.
You've done yours. No, it's fine. It's okay. Then we have the sales, we have the quantity, we have the discounts, we have the profit. So good. We are okay. And the next thing we want to do is to specify where these fields are coming from. So I said select all these. They are coming from the sales retail. So sales retail. Good. Hit down, close my parentheses. Then the next thing I want to do is to alias this as what? Let me just give this order fact. Order fact is going to be my alias. So let's run this now. F5 to run. So we have 1,980 rows affected. So I'm going to, let's select all from the order fact and see. Select all from orders. Okay, Yetunde, you're saying something. You want to say something?
Yes, sorry, ma. Please, why are we using alias? If we don't use alias, won't the query work?
Try it out at your end. Are you using your system?
No, ma.
Alias gives a
Can you
proper
see?
name. It's like an alternative name to a
Can you?
column header.
I just even run it now. Can you see what the error it brought? Can you see?
Okay.
Message
Yeah.
102 level 15. So you have to use the alias for it to work. It won't work without the alias.
Thank you.
All right, good. So select all from other facts table. Then let's run all these and see F5. And you can see we have all the records we brought in. Now, I also want us to remove duplicate from this order ID because we might have some IDs from the order ID that is appearing twice. To be sure that we only have records for orders alone. So I have to remove duplicate as well from it. So I'd come here and I would say so with CTE, so let's do it with CTE underscore other facts as, move to the next line, press a tab, then open my parentheses as what? Select what? So I'm selecting all this. So let's see if instead of even typing everything, let me see if I can just select all this, select all, comma, row number. Instead of typing everything, select all, comma, underscore row number, open parenthesis like this, over, open my parenthesis, partition by all. Can I put partition by? Oh, let's see. I've not tried that before, but let's see. Shift 8, order by the order ID, order underscore ID. Is it gonna work? I think we are having this, but let's see first. Let's see if it's gonna work. Then we have this order by order ID in ascending order. Close my parentheses, and I'll say as row number. And where is this coming from? It's coming from the order facts table. Order facts table. So close my parentheses for that. So let's run this and see. Let me see if this is going to work. F5. So we have, yes, so it's not working. So I have to specify. So let me just copy all this. F5, then I'll come here. I wanted to order it, partition it by the order date, the order ID. So partition by, so I have to list everything. Order underscore ID, comma, order date, order underscore date, comma, ship date. So let me arrange this now. Select all from the row number, partition over partition by. This is going to be long. So let me just break it like this. Okay. So ship underscore date, comma, ship mode underscore mode, comma, customer underscore ID, comma, the segment, comma, the postal underscore code, comma, the retails. So it's going to be very, very long. Retail underscore sales underscore people, comma, product ID.
Oh, why can't you copy it?
What do you say?
Why can't you copy?
I was trying to copy it, but it's not, you can see.
I mean, why can't you copy?
What do you say?
Okay.
I was trying to copy it, but it's not copying. It would have copied if I was highlighting based on like this, but it's not copying when it's only change the position. So it's not copying. So order product ID, comma, the returned. It would have been nice if it will allow me use just that asterisk symbol to get all. Returned, then sales, comma, the quantity, comma, the discount, comma, profit. So profit is the last thing. Profit. So let's see. You can, if you can still arrange yours, still break it into different partition by, you just break them. You can break them like this to make it so it won't, can break it. It's going to be very long. Quantity, discounts, the profits. So you can see this makes sense. So I can just put my row number here. Okay, so we have this. Then the next thing, let's run all this and see if it works. Let's run all this inside that bracket. So I would run all this, press F5. So we have invalid objects name order facts. So I didn't spell this way. It's supposed to be orders fact, and that is why it's not giving me that. So when I run this again now, let's see. You have to run the one inside. F5. So we still have problem, incorrect syntax near ASC. So order by the order ID. Okay. Select all, then the row number partitioned by the order ID, order date, ship mode. Please, let's look at the error where it is together, because sometimes it could be a comma or something that is causing the issue. Okay. So let me run this now. F5. Problem. Okay. Good. Sorry. The reason why it's giving us that error is because we didn't highlight from others fact. That is why. So I'll select all this F5 and that returns the whole result. So you can see all this, and there's assigned row numbers to it. So we have row number here, and you can see we have 1 or true, but I still have to be sure that it doesn't have duplicates. That's I'm doing that to make sure it removes any duplicate that I can find there. But it's not seeing any duplicate, but I'll still delete. I'll say delete from CTE underscore others fact. Other fact. Let me see the name I used for it. Other fact, not others fact. Other fact. Where where the row number is greater than 1. So let's run all this now to remove duplicate from the fact table if you have any of the others appearing more than once. F5. Can you see we have one row affected? So it means we have one particular duplicate there. So let's remove that now. And if you should run to check all the values or all the records in the sales fact, so select all from order fact table. Let's see what we have there. So F5. This is the record. So next thing I want to do now is to create ERD, entity relationship diagram, like a model in Power BI or in Microsoft Excel, like we did. So I'll come here to this database that we have here, and under the database you can see we have database diagrams. So I'll click on database diagrams, and I would right click and I'll click on new database diagram. So I'll click on that. The database does not have one or more of the support of the blah 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 blah. Just click on yes. So once I click on yes, this pops up. Then I'll add all the things I want to connect together, the tables I want to connect together. So I'll add dim calendar, I would add dim customer, I would add dim location, I would add dim product, and I will add the other facts table. I'm not adding the sales retail because that is what we used to get the fact and dimension tables. I'll close this. Then I'm going to arrange in order of, remember I said we have the type of model in Excel. Then how do we have star schema and we have the snowflake schema? So what we're forming here is going to be a star schema ERD. So I'll come here, bring my orders fact table here to form a star. My location is here, good. Customer is here. So I think where's did we add in product? Yes, product is here. So we have this now, and I'll start creating relationship. But first, I have to let SQL know which one is the customer key. I mean, is the primary key of the table. So I'll come here. The primary key of this dim customer is customer ID. So I'll right click on it and you say set as primary key. So click on set as primary key. The one for, since we specified when bringing in the dim calendar that the date is our primary key, it has already assigned primary key to this one. So I'll come here to my other fact table, right click, and I'll set the order ID as primary key. To my dim location, I'll set the postal code to be primary key. To my dim product, set the dim product to be primary key. So once I'm done, I'll start creating relationship between them. And how do I create it? Come here to this key, this icon here for key, drag it like this, drag. Once you drag, then go and link it to the customer ID on the fact table. So this is it here. Drop it. And once I do that, you can see tables and column, relationship name, FK, order fact table, dimension table. It will give you the name. And if you want to change the name, you can change it there. Value like that. So it's saying primary key coming from dim customer ID, then in one in the other fact table, then I'll hit OK. And I'll hit OK. It created that relationship. You can see the relationship has been created. I'll do the same thing for dim calendar. Come here, then drag it like this. I'll drag to for other dates. So you can see this here. Dates in the dim calendar and other dates in the other fact table. Then hit OK. Hit OK. I'll do the same thing for ship date because we have 2 dates here. So I'll drag as well, then drag to ship date. So you can see that relationship created. Good. So you can see we have this date is connected to the other date and the ship date on this other fact table. The next thing I'm going to do is to come here and do for product ID. So I'll take product ID and place it here on product ID in the other fact table. So you can see here, it's telling you the 2 relationship, the 2 table that I want to create relationship from. Dim products, other fact table, and I'll hit OK. Then I'll hit OK. The next thing I'm going to do is for postal code location, drag this, and I would add it to the postal code. Then you can see the relationship you want to create. Hit OK. OK. Now, then I'll Control S to save. I'll give it a diagram name. Let's give it North America ERD sales ERD. Then I'll hit OK. But let's see. We're going to encounter one issue here, but let's just look at it. Then the following tables will be saved to your database. Do you want to continue? Yes. Yes, I want to continue. But would have problem. I've checked this out. And the problem is that it's telling us that when you're trying to create a relationship between the it's telling us we have duplicate, unable to create index pk dim product because the create unique index statement terminated because a duplicate key was found for the object name dbo.dim product. So it means we have duplicate in that dim product. Even if we remove duplicate, probably because we have a product assigned to like 2 product or more assigned to a particular product ID. So let's go and check. So you can see this, it told us this is a duplicate key. So I'll come here, highlight this duplicate key that is saying that it has seen, Control C to copy it. Then let me go back to my query. Okay, let me go back to my query. So let's check that particular order that has that duplicate key. So it would say select all from dim product. We want to check the problem now. From dim product, where the product ID, product underscore ID is equal to. So I want to check the reason why it's not allowing us to create that relationship. So I'll highlight everything and press F5. So you notice something here. You can see we have the same product ID assigned to 2 different products. So one of the reasons why I didn't remove duplicate for this particular ID is because it's assigned to, it's like a different record for different products. So in a situation like this where you have a product ID assigned to more than 1 product, what do you do? So if I'm to work on this, and what I'll do is to probably add a surrogate key, that is create another unique identifier that will serve as my product key, leaving this product ID. So how do I do this? So I'm going to I'll add a new column to this dim product that would serve as my own product key. Don't forget, we no longer have duplicate record in dim product. So it's safe to add, like just the way you add index to your table in Microsoft Excel when we're doing Power Query, then the same thing here. But I'm going to be adding a new column that will serve as a unique identifier for the dim product table. So how do I do this? So I'll come here to add a new column called, I'll give it the product key, called product key to serve as the unique identifier for the table dim product. Okay, or I can say to add a surrogate key called, let me just put surrogate key. To add a surrogate key called product key to serve as a unique identifier for the dim. So what do I do? The first thing I'm going to do is to alter the dim product table and add that column for product key. So I would say alter table. Sorry, please give me few minutes. Just few minutes. Let me reduce the sound of this. Okay, are we there? Are we with me? Are we following everybody? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I would say alter table. Alter table. So what is the table you want to alter? Alter table dim product. Alter table dim product. Then what do you want to do? I want to add a column with the name product key. I want to add a new column to this dim product. So you have to do that. To modify a table, to change something in the table, use the command alter table. So I've altered the table and I'm saying add product key. So don't forget, if you're adding a product key, you have to specify the data type int. It's going to be int. But now I don't want to be the one to insert values into it. I'm going to use, so it's int, and I'll use this identity in open brackets 1, 1. So what does this mean? Then I will set this to be the primary key of the primary key. So I will explain what this means now. What this means is I'm saying add a new column to this dim product table, right? The data type should be int. Then for this identity is like auto increment. It means the first number is going to be, it's just going to add it automatically to the table. The first number is going to be 1. Then as is checking the records to be adding, to be increasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. That's what it means. So I'll just come here and I would press F5 to run this. So you can see command. So if I should check, let's check our dim product. Now you see that it will have a new column called product key. So F5. Can you see we have product key here now? It has assigned a new unique identifier to the product table. This is it. Then the next thing I also want to do is I also want to add, because if I'm going to link it to the fact table, I have to also have this product key in the fact table as well. So I would say to add the product key, the product key to the other fact table. So what I want, I'm also going to order, I'm going to alter the other fact table. So I would say alter table. What's this table? Others fact table. Then what should I do? Add a new column, add products key, and just give it int. I'm done with this. Then I'll run this F5. Command successful. So if I should check my others fact table as well now, F5, you would see that we have, let's scroll to the other end. So waiting for it to, hold on, let me just minimize this. Can you see we have product key? We have a new column called product key, but you're saying null, so it's empty. So what I want to do now, how do I then link this product key that I've created or added to this dim product to this product key here, column in the other fact table? So I'm going to update the other fact table. So I'll come here and say, to add the product key to the other fact table, so I'll come here and say, update what? Update the others fact table. The others fact table. Then what should you do? Set the product key in the other fact table to be equal to the product key coming from the dim product. So you your head will not scatter, don't worry. You would understand. Just follow me. So after I've added this dim product, automatically creates a surrogate key that will serve as my unique identifier for that table. I also altered the other fact table and add a new column called product key. But we've realized that that column in the other fact table is containing null, no value. When you see null, when you see a column in or a field, showing null, it means there's nothing there. So how then do I update this other fact table? By linking the product key in the dim product to the one in the order fact table. So I'm saying update the order fact table, set the product key in this order fact table to be equal to the product key coming from the dim product. Then where I would say from the orders fact table, then join where? Join with the dim product. Join with the dim product. And don't forget, we are doing join on what? So what is that common column between the dim product and the other fact table? What is the common column? Not the new one we just created though. What is the common column between both? What links the dim table to the dim product to the other product ID? Very good, thank you. So I would say on, don't forget, we're using join on what? The product ID coming from the orders fact table, orders fact table dot product ID underscore ID is equal to the one coming from the dim product dot product ID. But it's not going to be, you have to specify now. You have to specify for this. So you can see it's already given us this error line. This error line here, product key come. It's okay, you can just go on like that. Only if I want to use alias. So let's say I want to use alias now. I would say okay, where you have orders fact table as, if I run it without the alias, it will still work. It will work actually. But if I want to give alias, I'll say as, I can say for the order fact, let me just give the order fact on the OFT for order fact. Then for dim product, I'll give it as DP like this. Then since I've given it alias, I can come here and change this. I'll say OFT. Then this one, I'll change it to DP. Instead of like writing the long name of that table like that. So you can see update the orders fact table, set the product key in the order fact table to be equal to the dim product, the product key coming from the dim product from the orders fact table as OFT, join it to the dim product as DP. What is that common column between both? The product ID. So let's run this now and see F5. So let's see dim product, the product key could not be bound. So let's see, we have multiple parts. So let's check what the problem is. So let me run this. So don't be scared. You would encounter errors. Just be able to read and understand. Set the product key. Yes, I'm correct. Product key here. Okay. All right. So let me remove this first and see. It should not be a problem actually. Orders fact
Maybe
table.
the sets.
No, not the sets. It's correct actually. The order fact table is not the set. Order fact table dot. Let me see. Let me run it without the alias. Dot MP. Probably because we want to add alias somewhere. So let me just remove this and run it. So we have 1,979. Probably we should have added the alias. So maybe change this dim product to the alias DP. So you can try that and change the dim product to alias DP. So we have this now. Let's open our order fact table now and see. Select all, or let me just go back, scroll up and look for where I put that query. Yeah, select all from order fact table and let's see if it has joined it. F5. So we have, can you see we have the product key that's been updated? The product key in the order fact is now, it's no longer showing null, but has been updated with the product key. Very good. So what I want to do now, if you don't, since we don't need the product ID, you can leave it or drop it. So I would like to drop it. So I'll just put drop the product key, to drop the product ID, since I'm not using it, to drop the product ID in the orders fact table and the dim product, bring product table. Good. So how do I do that? I would say author. So if you want to change your table, change something, either add or drop, use the author table first I want to alter the dim product. Alter dim product table. Dim product. Alter table dim product. So what do I want to do? Drop column. So what is the column that you want to drop? I want to drop the column product ID. So product underscore ID. If I run this now, this should drop it. F5. Successful. I also want to drop the one in the other fact, alter table, because I don't need it anymore. I've created a new identifier already for those table. So alter table, other fact, other fact table. Then drop. If you want to drop a column, drop column. What is the column I want to drop? I also want to drop the product ID in that other fact underscore ID. So let's run this and see as well. I could have done everything and run everything at once. F5, successful. So let's check both and see we'll still find those product ID there. So select all from product ID. Let's see. F5. F5. So you can see you can no longer find the product ID anymore. So I can just adjust, I can rearrange it. So you can see it's gone. So same thing for other. Let's look at the one for other facts. Let's see if we can still see I've dropped it. So select all from other fact. F5. You can no longer find the product ID. All you see is just product key. So good. We are okay. So let's go back to our diagram here. What I want to do now is to let me just delete this. Do you want to know? I don't want to just delete it. So come here, right click, new diagram. Then I'm going to add the calendar, add customer, add location, add product, add the others fact table. So good. Close this now. Then I can arrange again in the order. Okay, so let's come back here. There's something is we have one more table, calendar. Yeah. I'm going to form a star schema. I showed you how you can run that. So first, I'll drag this. Good. Let's first assign primary keys to them. Hansu. So let's first assign primary keys. So this is going to be my right click, set as primary key. Right click, set as primary key. Right click, set the customer ID as primary key. Right. So this is primary key already. I can just start creating relationship. Drag this to other dates. So be sure, check it very well. Good. Date and other dates. Very good. Okay. Okay. I also want to create relationship with the ship dates. Come here. Or dates and ship dates. Very good. Okay. Okay. Same thing. The postal code. To the postal code here. Very good. Okay. Then okay. Same thing for the product ID. But if you are doing yours, let's say you're working in a product and you don't have the issue of having maybe your records having duplicates like what we did, that you wouldn't have the need to create a surrogate key. You just create your data, your ERV like that. So I'll come here, product key to the product key here. Good. Okay. So then the customer ID here to customer ID. Customer ID. So good. Good. Then let's save this. Control S to save. And I'll give this North America sales retail. So let's hit OK. Now we have a problem again. Now there's a duplicate in this one. So let's go back. So there's a duplicate in the orders fact table. Let's go and check what this duplicate is. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. I purposely choose this problem so that you know how to fix problem like this. So let's go back and check the. So select all from other facts where I want to see where the order ID underscore ID is equal to let's see the records F5. So you can see we have two records here. Two records here with the same IDs, like this. So that's why it's not allowing us to create that record. So how do we remove this? So let's say, okay, let me just do something now. Let me update it. If you want to do this, you have to create maybe a surrogate key again for the other ID table. But I'll leave it like this. Or what should we do? Should we create a row number for it and use it? What do you think we should do? Are we there? Hello, can we hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now, for the sake of what we are doing now, I can't drop this table because I can't drop it. So let's just okay, adding a new surrogate key. It's going to take a while too. So let's do like this. Let's just add okay, let me alter the table as well and add, so I'll alter the table again. So let's see. I'll add the unique identifier for this and make it the other ID. So let's alter table again. To add a unique identifier to the other fact table. Okay, so alter table, others fact. Might even have issue as well with the postal code because it's appearing twice. But let's see, alter table, others fact. Then we're going to add column. Add column what? Want to add the column, let's give it row ID, row underscore ID, give it int, then identity as well, 1,1, close parenthesis. Then I'm going to, let's run this. So alter this table, add column, row ID. So let's see. Oh, sorry. If you're adding column, you don't have to add column. So let's run this. I hope you are all following. Close. That's created a relationship already itself. Remove primary key, and I'm going to set, what's the row number I just created now? Okay, so let me try to save it. Control S to save it. Good. So we have our records, we have our database, we have our ERD created now. So no problem. Let's just go back. So we are done with the first, what we are asked to do first, to create ERD, transform the raw data set into star schema with fact tables and dimension tables, and we've done that. So the next thing I want to do now is start answering this question. So analysis now, let's go back. So this should be very, very fast. So we're all doing this together. Exploratory analysis. Okay, so the first question we were asked to answer is, what was the average delivery days for different product category? What was the average delivery days for different product category? And how do I get that? So you have to think. So whenever you're given an objective, or you have something you want to work on, and you want to use SQL to do that, you might have to sit down and think about what you want to do, because you don't just jump into the problem. If you jump in, you jump out. So you need to understand what exactly you've been told to do. We were told to find what is the average delivery days for different product category. So first, let's select all the orders. Let's select all the data in the orders table. So select all from the orders fact table. Then I'll run all this. F. So we have to get the average delivery days. You first have to find the delivery days itself, which is going to be the difference between the order date and the ship date. Because if order was placed on this particular, we have orders placed this particular date, and it takes the orders are being shipped to their customers on these days. So to know the number of delivery days is going to be the order date minus the ship date. And what function are we going to use to find the date difference? We use the date diff function here to do that. So first, let's find what is the average delivery days for different product subcategory. So it means you're going to be working with the order fact table and the dim product table. So I'll come here first and select all from the orders fact table first. We've done that already to check all the record. So I would say select what? I'm going to first get the subcategory that is from. So let me come here first. Let's preview the data in the dim customer. Select all from dim product. I mean, not customer, dim product. Let's preview everything. F5. So we are saying we want to see the average delivery days for each of the subcategory. This subcategory in a dim product, and delivery days based on the order date and the ship date on the order fact table. So we will have to use a left join to get the result. So I'll come here and say select subcategory. So sub underscore category, comma. So if I'm going to get the number of days between the order date and the ship date, I'll use the function called date diff. So I'll say date diff. You can see it here, date diff. Open my parenthesis. The first argument is the interval, which is day. Day is the interval, comma. The second argument is the starting date, which is the order date. Order underscore date, comma. Then the third argument is the end date, which is the ship date. Ship underscore date. Then I'll close my parentheses, and I'll alias this to be as delivery days first before we start looking at the average. Delivery days. So where is this coming from? Select sub. It is coming from where? The first one from the orders, the order fact table. Okay. Then left join what? Left join the dim product, because that's the only way you can draw out record. It's like you want to trying to match the other fact and the dim product so you can get result from it. The dim product on what? On what? The two common columns between both is the product key. On the product key coming from the others facts table dot product key is equal to the product key coming from the dim product dot product key. Product key. Good. So we have this now. The product key that is coming from the others fact table equal to the. You know one thing about left join, I can just alias this to make things easy for me. As I'll give this OFT, also alias dim product give me DP. So I'll specify where this subcategory is coming from. It's coming from the dim product. So DP, since I've aliased it, DP dot subcategory. Then come here, OFT dot others date, same thing as OFT dot ship date. Then I also alias this as well. Come here on this at this on part, OFT. Same thing for this one. DP dot product key. So let's run this now and see. OFT. So we have OFT dot ship date. Let me take this up a bit. So let's run this now and see. So can you see that we have, it's showing us each of the subcategories, then it's showing us the delivery days. So for some bookcases, 61, we have 1, 2, 3. If you scroll down and the number of days it took to deliver those products. Anyway, you see 000, it means that maybe that product was delivered that same day. It didn't take days to be delivered. So we have this. But the question is to find the average delivery days for different product category. So I have to wrap this around the aggregate function average. I'll say AVG, open parenthesis. I'm wrapping this date diff inside of it. So now it won't no longer be as delivery days anymore, but as average delivery days. Because I've wrapped it around the aggregate function. And don't forget, if you are using an aggregate function, you have to also use the group by. So I'll say group by. So group by what? What am I grouping it by? What are we grouping it by? What are we grouping this by? Are we together? I'm grouping by what? Someone just something.
Subcategory.
Subcategory. Very good. Thank you. So I'm grouping by subcategory. So I'll go back by, I'll just come here and copy this. Control C, and I would paste this here. Control V, then I would run this. F5 to run it. So you can see how that has grouped this. So I can see that for chairs, subcategory chairs, it takes an average of 32 days to get it delivered to the customer. For bookcases, it takes an average of 32 days. For furnishings, it takes an average of 34. For tables, it takes an average of 36 days to get it delivered to the customers. So I'm okay with this. Now, let me just delete this one. Control C, delete it. I've answered the question. What was the average delivery days for different product categories? So I can just come here and type in my comments for this. It takes, so I've told you, if you want to type in long comment, just Shift 8, use this. So I would say it takes, so it takes an average of 32 days, 32 days to deliver products in the chairs and bookcases subcategory, comma, move to the next line, an average of 34 days to deliver products products in the furnishings subcategory, and an average of how many of 36 days to deliver. No, you can use your own English. To deliver products in the table subcategory. So we've answered this now. Then I'll end it. Shift 8. Then the next question, let's go back here, is what was the average delivery days for each segment? Control C for each segment. So let's go back. Control V for each segment now. If you should run select all, let's see where the segment is. Select all from others. I think the others is in the other fact table. Select all from others. We are told to to find the average delivery days for each of the segments. So I'm going to be using the segment and the average. So if I were you, since it's only just one table, both the dates and the segment is on the other fact table. So I don't have to left join with anything or join with any other table. So all I have to do is just say select the segment, comma. Then I can come here, select the segment. Then I can just come here and copy this here. I don't want to write it again. Control C, then paste it here. Control V. So select the segment, the average, finding the difference between the order date and the ship date to get the number of delivery days, then find the average. So I'm saying segment, comma, this. Then where is it coming from? It's coming from the orders fact. Then don't forget, if you have an aggregated result or a result gotten from aggregating a particular column in your select statement, you have to use the group by function. So group by, I'm going to group by the segment, group by segment. Then let's run this. F5. Okay, so we have ship. Okay, now that's because we have alias here and we're not supposed to use alias. So since we are not left joining to anything, so remove the alias. If there's one thing I like about this SQL, is the fact that it tells me what error I have and it will tell you the line where the error is coming from and you can fix that once you understand the error. So let's run this again. F5. And now you can see. So let's say I want to sort this in order of highest to lowest. I'll just use order by what? I want to order it by this average date difference. So I'll just use the alias instead. So you can only use alias. You can use the alias in the order by keyword. So alias, the AVG, because there's something called order of operation in SQL. The way you write your query is not how it's been executed. So average delivery days, then I'll run this like this, F5, and this will be sorting. So if you don't specify, let's say I want it to be in from highest to lowest, so DESC, you have to specify. If you don't specify, it's going to run in ascending order. So specify that in F5. Is that you use the alias, or I'll just use the number? Segment is 1 here, then this AVG, whatever, is 2. So if I don't use the alias, if I just put 2, type in 2 and run it, it will use the position of it there. It's still the same result anyhow. So you can see here, so I'm going to write my insights, answer the question. And what is the question? What was the average delivery days for each segment? So it takes an average of, it takes an average of 35 delivery days to get products to the corporate customer segment, comma, corporate customer segments, comma, enter an average an average of 34 delivery days to get product to the customer segment, and an average of 31 delivery days, an average of 31 delivery days to get products across or orders across to the home office customer segment. Good. So the next thing, let's go. We've answered 2. The next question is, what are the top 5 fastest delivered products and top 5 slowest delivered products? So we're dealing with, when they say delivered, that's to do with delivery day. So you are going to be working with the orders fact table as well as the dim product table, because when you get to the fastest delivered products and the slowest delivered products. So let's go back. So instead of writing again, so let me just copy the question. Now copy it, Control C, then go and paste it. I don't want to start typing the query again, Control V. Let me just go back to where I use left join orders to the product. So I'll copy that particular query. I don't want to write it again. Control C, and I'll come here. This time around, we're not told to find average. So yeah, so this is why it's commenting everything out, is because I have not ended the comment for this one, so I have to end it. Asterisk then slash to end it. So that's how. Same thing for this one. Let me just make it to be on a straight line. Good. So we are to find what are the top 5 fastest delivered products and top 5 slowest delivered product. So how do I get this? It has to be product name. So I'll change this from DP subcategory to DP product name. Product name. Good. We're not told to find average of anything, so I'll remove the average. Remove average. Then I'll remove average here as well. I'm just trying to edit my query. It's still the same thing. I don't want to go over it again. So product name, the date difference. So let's run this now. Before we run, let's change this as well to product name. So I'm saying select the product name coming from the dim product table, then find the date difference. I mean the delivery days, the number of delivery days. Then once you are done, just give me the result. So let's run this first and see what I'm going to get. F5. So let's see what the problem is now. Orders facts, order dates is invalid in the select list because it is not contained in either an aggregate function or group by clause. Okay, so others, okay, yes, that's because we have this group by function here. So let's delete this. Delete delete it. We should not have the group by since we don't have any aggregate function here. So I'll run this F5. So you can see it's showing us the delivery days. Now don't forget, the question is what are the top 5 fastest delivered product. When we say top fastest delivered product, it means product that didn't take days to be delivered. So once we're looking at product between maybe 0 to 1 day, that will be the fastest. So I'm going to first, to get the top 5 fastest delivered product, I will order this. I'll order it by delivery days. So I'm just going to use number 2, since the question is 2 here. Instead of typing delivery days, I'll just use order by 2. Then I'll sort it in ascending order ASC, because I want to find fastest delivery product. That is product that will only take between 0 to like 1-2 days. So let's run this and see. F5. So you can see we have some products that takes. So we want top 5. So to get top 5, come here, select. I'll change it to top what? top 5, then open my parentheses, wrap my product name in that parenthesis like this. So I'm saying, give me the top 5 products where their delivery days, when you sort in ascending order, that's the least delivery days. So I'll run this again, F5, and these are the products that takes 0 days to get to their customers. So I'll just come here, I'll write my comments on that, and I would say the top 5 fastest delivered products are, move to the next line. All I have to do is just come here and copy all this. I don't want to waste time. Control C, then come here and paste this here. Control V. The top 5 fastest delivered products taking, okay, with, let me just put with 0 to 1, or let me just, yeah, with 0 delivery days. Delivery days are, these are the top 5 products. So good. Then I'm going to just end that. The next one is to find top 5 slowest delivered products. So I'll just copy this code again. Control C, and all I have to do is just order it in descending order. Control V, then I'll change from ASC, sort it in descending order to get it, those that takes days to get to their customers. Then I'll run this F5, and you can see we have, these are the top 5 products that takes, look at the number of days it took to get to their customers. I mean, 214 days. If I'm that customer, I have to even return it, because if it takes this long to get to me, I don't need it anymore. So let's just go back, come down here, and I'll write in my comment. And I'll say the top 5 top 5 slowest delivered products with 214 delivery days, 214 delivery days are, and I'll come here, copy all this, Control C, then I'll paste this, Control V, and I would just end my query. Are we following me? Are we all here with me? Hello?
We are trying.
Yes.
We are trying. What's the problem? Is it hard? It's not actually. Is it hard? Don't worry.
Yes.
Once you
Yes.
go over the video again, you understand better. You understand very, very well how I'm doing it. So let me just go back.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry.
Um,
You don't have to bother yourself. It's not hard. Once you understand English, you understand SQL. Once you understand English. The next thing is, we've answered that. Can see we've gone far. We've answered 1 to 3. The next thing is, which product subcategory generates the most profit? So I'll copy this, Control C to copy, go back to my to my SQL, then Control V. Want to get which product subcategory generates the most profit. The most profit. So don't forget the profit column is in the order fact table and the subcategory is in the dim. So we are still going to left join. So instead of typing again, just copy it. I'll just come back, go and copy where I left joined the whole thing together. So I'll copy this now. Control C, because I don't want to do it again. Then Control V to paste it. But first, before we start doing anything, let's select all from our orders fact table. Select all from orders fact table. F5. So here is our profit column. But you notice something in this profit column. We are seeing minus negative sign, right? So it means it's not the value there that profits, that we most likely have losses as well. So anyway, you see negative sign, attach the value there, it's loss, not profit. So how do we calculate our profit? Since we have, looking at this profit column, we have both profits and losses, and want to calculate product category that generates the most profit for the business. So what do I do? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this. We're not asked to find delivery days. I'll remove this. All I just needed was to copy the code. So select first. It is subcategory. So select subcategory, comma. Then what are we asked to find? We have to find the profit. So I'll use the function sum, open parenthesis, sum what? I want to sum the profits column. Don't forget, the profit column is coming from the OFT, that is the order fact table. Profits dot OFT dot profit. Then I'll close my parenthesis as what? As total profit. But don't forget total profit. But don't forget that this profit column contains negative values as well. So I can say select this from that is coming from the dim product, sum all the profit column that is coming from the order fact table. Once you are done, before we now start doing the group by, let's filter it out. I'll say where what? Where the profit, where profit, where is profit coming from? Profit is coming from the OFT. Profit, that is OFT dot profit is greater than greater than 0. You know, any value that is below 0 is negative. So I want to get the profit. So let's go over this query now. We are saying select the deep, that is the subcategory which is coming from the dim product, sum all the profits in the profit column that is coming from the order fact table, right? We've joined using the left join, we've joined both the dim product to the order fact table with the left join. But with this where, we're adding a condition where our profit is greater than 0. Don't forget I said that the profit column contains both losses and it contains profits. So when I get those are our profit, it has to be valued at above 0. So I'm going to run all this now. F5. So can you see we have this? We have this result. You are saying chairs. This is total profit for chairs, for bookcases, furnishes, and tables. But what I want to do now, first, let's fix this. This is having plenty decimal points. Let's say I only want to see to 2 decimal points. So I'll round this up. So I'll use the function round, open parenthesis, round up to how many decimal places? Round up to 2 decimal places, close the parenthesis. So what I just did is to round up this. If I run it again now, F5. So this has rounded up from where you're saying now to just 2 decimal places. So the next thing I want to see, we're told that which product subcategory generates the most profit. The most profit. So what I'm going to do now is to order it by order. Is it I order it by, is it I type in this alias total profit, or I just use the number based on the position 2. Order by 2 in descending order. Descending order like this. So let's run it. F5. So you can see here that chairs still takes the highest, about 36,000 plus. Furnishing takes 19,000 plus. Bookcases. So I'll just come here and write in my comment. Then I would say the subcategory chairs generates the highest profit for the company. Highest, just put generates the highest profit with a total of 36,471.1. I can just put dollar since it's America, so dollar, they spend dollar, shift. Yeah, so we have this like this. So it makes sense why the list is table. The list come from table. I also specify why the list comes from table. Good. So we are done with this. The next question is very interesting now, very sweet, right? Are we not enjoying it? Hi guys, are we there? Who is lost? Let me find you. Who is lost? Let me find you. So now
Where I am, you cannot find me. I have to find myself.
Okay, so which segment generates the most profit? So now let's do this now. Since we are already in one table, our segment and profit column is both on the other fact table. So now let's look at it together. Which segment generates the most profit? So we'll come here and say select. So I'm going to select segment, comma, then profit as well. So I would say sum, open parenthesis, sum what? I want to sum the profit column. So I'll type in profit, close the parenthesis, as what? Let's give it as total. You see the same thing, I'm just trying to do it again. Total profit. Good. So where is it coming from? It's coming from the others fact, others fact table. Like this. So let's now don't forget that I said that profit column contains both negative values and positive values. So I have to filter out the positive values. I'll say where my profit is greater than 0. Anything greater than 0 is positive now. So I'll run this now. Let's run this F5. Okay, so we have is invalid in the select because it is not contained in that. Okay, good. Now the reason why is because since we have a result that we use aggregate function to get, you have to use the group by function here. So I'll come here and say group by segment. Group by segment. So let's run this now. F5. So can you see this value? We have, so you can see here, but I would like to round this up to 2 decimal places. I'll use round function here. Round, open parenthesis, round to how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. I have to specify those parentheses. So I'm saying round the sum of the profit to 2 decimal places as total profit. Let's run again. F5. So you can see this. If I want to see it in order of highest to lowest, I have to order it. Order it by, is it that you use the order by total profit like this? You still get the same result, or use number like this. F5, you get the same result. Or I just say, instead of using total profit, I use the position. I'll put 2 because segment is 1, position 1. The aggregated result for profit is 2. So I'll run this F5. So you can see this. So from here, I can now write in my comment. This slash then. So what is, so the home office segment, home office. Now we didn't even we did not specify, we said in descending order, we didn't specify the order. And it's not, it didn't say it well. So I have to put descending order. DESC. It's like you're not following me at all. So I'll run this now. F5. So you can see that the consumer customer segment generates the highest profit. Why the home office generates the least. Okay. I want us to finish this exploration analysis as before we go for a 5 minutes break and come back to document on GitHub. So let's just quickly run this. And second to the last, which top 5 customers made the most profit? So it means we're dealing with customers and profits. I'm going to be working with both 2 columns, dim customers and other facts. So Control-C to copy, then come here. I'll paste the question here. So I don't want to start doing it again. Let me just look for, where do I have a place where I combine the dim customer and this thing together? So I think I don't have a place. So I'll just come here. Let's do it together now. Top 5 customers that made the profit. So I'll say select. I want first, let's select all from customer and see what is there. Select all from dim customer. Let's see what we have here. Dim customer. So let's see what we have there first. F5. So we have customer ID and customer name. So good. So I'll say select all, not select all now. Select the customer name, customer underscore name. Select the customer name, comma. We want to find customer that made the most profits. Then sum, open parenthesis, sum the product profit, sorry, sum the profit total entities as total profit. Good, right? So don't forget, we are dealing with two tables, dim customer and others fact table. So I want to combine both, merge them together. I'm going to be using left join. So I'll say from, so the left table is the other fact from the others fact, right? Other fact. Now say left join on what? The dim customer. The dim customer. Then we have to specify on what? On what is the two common this thing on customer ID that is coming from the other fact. So I'll say other facts, others fact dot customer ID equal to the one coming from dim customer dot customer ID. Right? So we have this now. Then the next thing I want to do is I have to filter out this. Don't forget, we have to use where function to filter out profits that are greater than 0 because that's our profit. Profit greater than 0. Greater than 0. Then I'll use the group by because we have an aggregate function here. Group by the customer name. Good. So let's see. Let's run this person and see if we would have a correct result. So you can see we have some customer name, some total profit. Maybe to just make things very, very easy, let me just specify where these columns are coming from since we have two tables. So I'd come here from other fact table, I'll alias this other fact table as OFT. I'll alias the dim customer as DC. Then I'll come here and specify where the customer name is coming from DC dot. Then where the profit is also coming from OFT dot. Then I also come here and change this one to OFT to this other fact to OFT. Then this you can leave it like that though, but just to make your codes. So ODC. Good. So we have this now, but the question is, let me run this again. It's still the same thing you get. But the question is, what are the top 5 customers that made the most profit? So I have to probably order this first in descending order. Order by what? The total profit. So I'll either type in total profit or just type in position, which is 2 in DESC. Don't forget, I don't like the way it is. I want to just reduce to 2 decimal place. I'll use the round function. So I'll come here and say round, open bracket. Then I'll round into 2 decimal place, close my brackets like this. So this makes sense. So let's run this now. F5. So it has rounded it up and it has sorted in descending order based on the profit, the total profits column. The total profit result that is here. Then what we have to find is top 5 customers. So I'll just come here and use the top clause, top 5, then wrap my customer in this like this. So I'm saying select top 5 customer, comma, round the sum of the profit to 2 decimal place as total profit. Where are they coming from? The one is coming from the others fact table. One is also coming from the dim customer. That's why I left join them together. So let's run this now. F5. And these are the customers that they are generating the highest profit for the business. So I'll write my comment and I'll say the top 5 customers generating the highest profit for the business, or just the highest profits are then I'll come here and copy their names, Control C, then I'll paste it here, Control V. I've ended my query, ended my comment, I mean. And the last thing here is, so what is the total number of products by subcategory? total number of products by subcategory. Total number of products. So this one is very simple. Someone should help me out. How should I fix this? We are all here together. Oh, let's do it together. Don't leave me alone to this. So who is helping me out? From this, you're only working with one table. The question is, what is the total number of products by subcategory? So you're only working with the dim product column. Total table, I mean. So who is helping me out? How do I get total number of products by subcategory? Who is helping me out? Anybody?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
That should be count.
Who is okay? Anna, thank you. All right. So count. I want to see the total number of custom of products by subcategory. So it means they're going to be grouping it based on subcategory. So let's go. All right, I'm listening. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to see.
You're trying to figure out. So let's just go on. I'll just say select. First, let's select all from dim product and see. So sometimes you have to like preview the data you have in the table first to know what you are going to do. So don't rack your brain too much. Understand the objective, then preview the data you have and check it out. Select all from dim product. Then I'll run this F5. So these are the products. I want to count the number of products that we have here based on the subcategory and group them based on subcategory. So I'd come here and say, okay, select. What am I selecting? I want to select the subcategory. It's very simple. Subcategory, then comma, I'll count. But this time I'm going to use distinct count. And why am I using distinct count? Or let's count. So count, let's use count. Open my parentheses. Count the product name. Count the product's name. Product underscore name. Close my parentheses as total product. Total product. So I'm saying select the customer, the subcategory I mean, then count the product name as total product. Where's it coming from? From the dim product. Then don't forget, since you aggregated a particular column in the select statement, you have to use a group by function. Else you get an error. So I'll use group by. What are you grouping by? Group by the column you did not aggregate, the column that you've not aggregated, which is subcategory. Then I'll end this. So let's run this and see. F5. So you can see we have each of the subcategory, we have the product. So let's see something. Let's try. Let's see if we use distinct count and see if we get the same results. Don't forget 48, 87, 186, 34. So distinct. And you know what distinct will do? It will only count the unique values. So F5. So we still have the same results. So makes sense. That's we don't have duplicate in that table. So you can just remove distinct since we give you the same results. So run again. F5. So the same thing. So now the question, what is the total number of products by subcategory? So I can just write in my comment the total, okay, the product, the total products for each subcategory are the total product for each subcategory. So we are done. Subcategory are 48, 87, 186, 34 for bookcases, chairs, furnishings, tables respectively. So we are done. So all I have to do now, we are done with our, so maybe just go through your codes again and see, because they're going to be posting this now on GitHub. So we have all this now. We started from selecting all from sales table. We created dim table, remove duplicate from it. We created dim location, remove duplicate from it. We created dim products, remove duplicate from it. We created orders fact table, remove duplicate from it. We so let me just remove this because we're just trying to check. So I'll delete this now. I don't need this here. So we added the surrogate key to our product table as well as to our order fact table. We updated the order fact table with surrogate key. We altered the table to drop the product ID columns for both tables, products table and order fact table. Then we started our exploratory analysis to answer questions on all this. So I'm just going to give it space. So it's going to make it more neater and organized. And you have to go over this again. Sit down, take your time. So I'm done with this now. So all I have to do now is to just save this query. I'm going to save it with North America sales retails optimization analysis. That is going to be the title of this analysis we've done now. Then let's just good. So yeah, so Control S to save, and I'll save it somewhere. I'll give you the title North America sales retails optimization analysis. Save it. Good. So we are done with this. Should you take a 5 minute break, then come back to do GitHub, or should we just continue? Let's vote. Take a 5 minute break.
Let's go.
Should you take a 5 minute break or go straight to GitHub?
Just a bit.
Straight
Let's
to
take the
GitHub.
break.
Let's take the break. Okay, so let's go on a 5 minutes break. We'll come back 7:22. 5 minutes break.
I'll leave your screen now.
Hello, who is saying something? What did you say?
Yeah, I want you to leave it in the SQL Server environment.
Okay. It's fine.
I'm documenting something.
Okay. So where are you? Where should I leave it for? Like, where should I?
The top customers, top 5 most customers.
Okay, hold on. Let me just drag this a bit to the bottom so that I can expand. Top 5 customers. So here. Come back, everybody. It's time. 5 minutes is up. So we'll be running up very soon. Can we all come back, please? Are we here? Can we all hear me? Can anyone hear me? Let's say something. I'm seeing
Yes.
yet in this reaction. All right, thank you very much. Let's just wrap this up and we'll be done. So to document what we've just done now on GitHub, let's just, if you have a GitHub account, you know how, just go straight to your GitHub account. If you don't have a GitHub account, just type in GitHub sign up on your browser. Then you go ahead to create your free account, then sign into your GitHub account. I'm just going to show you my own. I have mine already here that I created. And what is GitHub? GitHub is that platform or that site that will allow you to, you know, store or manage and share your codes or your project you've worked on, and also collaborate on project there. So it's more or less like a social networking for people that works on projects, and it's used by many companies and organizations. So let's just go. I'll open my um own GitHub account here. I don't really use it that like usually like that only when I want to come and post something on SQL. Maybe just add my projects to the platform. That's when I use it. So what you have to do once you create your GitHub account, what you would do is come to this place, want to create a new repository. And what is this repository all about? It's like a storage or a folder where you can store related files about a project you work on together. Then once you are done doing that, people can always come there and they would see what you worked on and the data you used in working on that project and everything related to that project. To create a new repository, I'll come here, click on this, and come here and click on new repository. So once I click on new repository, it brings the page for you to start. So I would give it a name. The first thing is that anywhere you have it marked as, any field marked as with this asterisk is very, very important. You have to fix in a value for it. So I'd come here, and the first thing I want to type in here is the name of my repository, which is like the name of the project you're working on. So we just worked on a North America sales retail retail analysis. So that is the name of the project you're working on. North America sales retails analysis. So if you want to add a description to describe what the project is all about, you can do that. Maybe this project is all about, you can add a description if you want to, but it's optional. So I'll just leave it. I'm not adding anything to it. But if you want, you can add it. So here is, do you want to make it public or private? So most times when I'm trying to add projects to my GitHub, I leave it at private, then make it public when I am done adding everything to that repository. So let's leave it at private. But if you want to leave it at public, it means whatever you're doing, others will also be seeing as you are, since you're not done, they'll still see the work that you're not done with it. But if you leave it at private, you will only upload it or change to public if you are done adding everything to your repository. The next thing, I'll scroll down, make sure to add this README file. So I'll check this README file. So every other thing, I think these are the things how you should um input the name of the project you worked on. If you're going to add a description, it's good if you add a description, add it in, but I'm not adding it in here. I'm just showing you, but you can add description to describe your project. Then make it private until you are done with that particular repository before you make it public. Then I'll go straight down and hit create repository. So once I create repository, waiting for it. Note, GitHub is not only a place to just come and dump your SQL code or your Python code. You can also, even those dashboards you created, you can as well save them on GitHub. There, you can even make GitHub your portfolio where anybody that goes there sees all the projects you've worked on. So I created this now, and you can see we have the README file. So here's the README file. Nothing is there now. So it is this README file you're going to work on to document all that you've done in that project. So I'll come here, click on this pencil-like icon here. So once I'm done, you can see we want to start documenting our work. So this in this README file, it uses this markdown syntax, which is like a syntax for formatting plain text. So first thing I want to do, you notice that the name here, product name here is like the name you saved your repository with. So I'm just going to leave it like at that. If you know how HTML works very well, you would know that, if I want to, let's say it depends, the header, Control C, let me move to the next line, paste this hash. So we're going to see the difference between those. It's just the size of this thing that will increase. North America again. Control V. Then how do I preview? Just come here and click on preview. Then I'll hit preview and you can see the difference. So 1 hash makes it bigger, like heading 1. 2 hash make it less bigger. 3 hash reduces the size of the heading. So to go back to editing, come here and click on editing. So I'm here in editing. So what I'm going to do first, I want to type in the product name, which is going to be the North America Sales Retail Analysis. So just type that in again. North America Sales Retail Optimization Analysis. Good. So I'm going to preview this. And you can see this is so let's go back. So after you type the name of the project that you want to work on, the next thing I want to do is to, type the project overview. So I'll come here and say, okay, what's my project overview? So I'll just use this double hash to reduce the size of the heading, and I'll give this project overview. Then I press my shift enter to move to the next line. Then I'll come here to this. It's not a must. Don't copy what I do. Summarize the project overview in your own words. Don't use exactly what is here. Summarize it in your own words. So I'd come here, copy all this here to show the project overview. Control C to copy, then come back to my GitHub. I'll paste that there, Control V. So let's see, let me preview this. So can you see the North American Sales Retail Optimization Analysis? This is the project overview, everything there. This is it here. Now, so let's look at it. Let's go back, edit. The North America retail is a major blah 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 blah. As a
The
data
project
analyst, what do you
just has
say?
an error.
The
The
what?
project review is supposed to be
Oh,
JECT.
so thank you very much. Thank you. Project overview. So as a data analyst, my job, I can just change this to my job. Please don't copy exactly. Use your own, summarize it in your own words. Use your own words. Talk about the project yourself. Talk about the project using your own words. So as a data, my job is to analyze their data sales. So uncover key insight and probability, everything here. So I'm okay with this. The next thing I want to look at is I also want to look at I want to run data source. So I'll come here and say, so hash, I'll use this double hash, data source. So after the hash, put a space in between. Double hash, data source. I also want to tell them data source where it's coming from. So data source, and I'll say, where is the data source coming from? The data source used, the data set used is a North America. What's the name of? Let's check the name of data set TSF before we type in rubbish. So let me just check the name of data sets. Retail supply chain sales analysis CSV. So let me go back. Retail supply chain analysis. Retail supply. Jesus Christ, English. Let's go back. Retail supply chain sales analysis. Okay. Retail supply chain sales analysis .csv. The data sets used. Okay. So I'm done with this. If I preview this now, you'd see how it is. So I'm seeing the name of the project overview, data sets used. So you can, if you have more than 2 data sets, include them. Let them know that these are the 2 data sets there. Then what else do I want to look at? I would also like to show them, tell them about the tools used. So I'll go back, edit, then come here to hash. Then I want to talk about the tools used. So tools used is SQL. So I would just to add in a bullet point, hyphen space, then type in, it is hyphen, then space, and I'll type in SQL as a tool use. Let's preview and see. So can you see that you're seeing the project overview, the data source, then the tools use, and this is SQL. So the next thing I want to also add in, after showing you the tools I used, I also want to show them, let me go back, shift enter, then hash. I want to talk about data cleaning and preparation. So I'll type in, so data cleaning and preparation. So what did I do for this data cleaning and preparation? So we're going to talk about all the things that you did. So number one is, I want to talk about the fact that, so maybe to make it one dot, the first thing I do is, okay. So the first thing I did, what did we do? We brought in data, right? So data importation and inspection, data importation and inspection. After that, what else did we do? Shift enter 2. What else did we do again? We created splitting our data into fact and dimension tables, splitted the data into fact and dimension tables, the data into facts and dimension tables, right? Then create an ERD. So what else did you do? You list out all the things that you do. If you clean the data, you put it there. If you don't clean the data, just put all the things that you did when you are trying to prepare and make the data ready for analysis. So I'm done with this. Let's preview it and see what we've been doing so far. So you can see this. I hope you are following me. Are we all following? Are we following?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. So you can see this now. And the next thing I want to bring in is probably the data exploratory analysis part. So I'll go back to where I have my, so I'll come here, hash, and I'll put either you type in objective, let me use objective, or you type in exploratory analysis, objectives. Then I can come here to where I have my question and copy all the objective here, what we were asked to do. So I'll copy everything here, Control C, then I'll go back to GitHub, then paste it here, Control V. So let's run this and see. Let's preview it and see what it looks like. So you can see we have all the objectives. This should be objective. Let me just go back and set that. So objective, edit it and change that to objective. So the next thing I want to put is, okay, what is the analysis that you've run? What is your analysis that you've run? You've done. So I'll go back, hash, then I'll put data analysis. Then I also want to type in. So you can also type in, add your SQL code that you've. So let's say for the first one, which is on for the first one, which is on, let me dot for the first one, which is on what was the average delivery days for product category. So I'll copy this one, Control C, paste it here, Control V. Now, how do I add the query? Let me go back to my SQL code where I have the code for the first question. This is the first one for the first question. So I'll copy all this here, Control C to copy the code. So you can also add SQL code to your README file. So I'll copy that, then go back to my GitHub, here, how do you add the codes? I'm going to use a batik. Where can you find this batik? It's like an inverted comma, inverted, not comma, inverted quotation mark. So you can find this batik button beside your number 1 button, that button that holds 1. You can see the batik button before it. So I'll press that batik button 3 times and type in SQL. Then move to the next one, I paste that code I copied, then use that same batik to end it 3 times. So let's preview this and see how it looks like first. So I'm previewing that. I'll go back. So can you see the codes here? What was the average delivery days for different project category? You can see the code now. It can even be copied. You can copy it. So I've added the code in here. So I'll go back, just type in all my analysis that I did for those objectives. So go back, edit it. So let's just start adding them in without previewing again. So I'm done with this. Enter. Then the next thing is I'm going to put number 2. Then so let's do like this because it's going to be a problem. Let me just change this from what it is now to maybe hash 3#1. Come here. I'll use 3# as well. #3 as well. Then 2 dot. I'll come here and paste it. I'm still going to run this again and see. Control C, go back, Control V, batik, SQL. So let's go and copy our codes. I have to be sure that it's not going to copy the wrong thing, but let's see. Control C, then go back. So let's run this and see. I want to see how it looks. It's not adding the. So now there's a problem. It's adding this to this code. It should not add it in. So let me just go back. Did not add it in. So SQL okay. So let me, yeah. So what you're going to do, sorry, make sure the batik is at the end of the line, the next line that ends this one. That's the only way to not add that in. So I'm going to just continue like that. So I've written for this one. So I'm left with the other one, #3 to make it small. So the next question is, what are the top 5 fastest and slowest developers? So copy this, Control C, then go back. I'll paste it here, then go to my query, then I'll copy my analysis, Control C, copy to the last one here, Control C to copy, then go back to my GitHub, then I'll paste this here. Before I paste it, put your batik 3 times, type in SQL to show that it is an SQL code, Control V, paste that code, then end with the batik. there. So the next thing I want to also add is the next question, shift. Then the next question, which is for this one, which product subcategory generates the most profits? Control C. Then I'll go back to my GitHub. Or let me just copy everything. No, let me just do this. Let me copy everything. I'm coming back. Control C. Then go back. I'll paste this here. Control V. Yes. So which product subcategory generates the most profit? So I'll go back to my SQL code. Go to where I have the analysis for product category that generates the most profit. I'll copy this. Control C. I'll go back to my GitHub and I would put my batik, type in SQL, Control V, end with the batik. I'll scroll down. So here, the next question, which segment generated the most profit? So hash, 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 like this. I'm also going to add in my code. Put the batik. Batik button is beside the button that takes one. SQL. Then go and copy that code for segment that generates the most profits. Control C. Go back to my GitHub. I'll paste it there. Control V. End with the batik. It's not double quotation mark or quotation mark. It's different though. Batik is different. So the next one is, I want to just do everything before previewing. So hash, hash, hash. SQL. And I'll copy the code for the sixth one. Control C, then go back. I'll paste it there. And the batik. Then the next thing, copy the code for the last one. Control C, and I would hash, 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 space, batik, SQL underscore, paste my code. Then I'll put my batik there, end it to the batik. So let's run this now. Let's preview how this looks. So the project overview, data source used to use, data cleaning, the objective, data analysis. I need to correct the analysis. So you can see this. You can see this top 5 fastest delivered product subcategory, which segment generated the most profit, 6 and the seventh one. So let's just go back. I want to still edit some things here. So 7, 1, 2. I didn't add 3 to this. 3 dot. Scroll down. Then same thing for this 4 dot. But I hope you are getting what I'm doing. I hope you're following me. Well, I'm the only one on this call now.
Yes.
Sorry, I know we are tired. Let's just end this and we'll be done with this SQL once and for all. So this is making sense. So data analysis are the two things I want to change here. So the next thing I want to talk about is, don't forget I said after doing your analysis, there's something called recommendation. You want to recommend. Because there's nothing like data analysis without recommendation. You have to recommend for them. Only they don't need a recommendation, but you have to. So I'm done with this. The next thing I want to add is my recommendation after running my analysis, drawing the insight. So if you have insight, the next thing you want to add in, I'll leave that to you because it's going to be a project. So go and redo this project, create the GitHub like this. Then once you are done, all this I'm adding, add them in as well. So draw your insights from the data by yourself. So I'll go back. The next thing I want to talk about is probably hash my findings, either results or your insights or findings. So that one will be left to you. Insights / findings. So that's left to you. So anything you want to add to it, I'm not going to go deep into that. So anything you want to add it to it. And I'm showing you how to add bullet points too. So the next thing is we have, after your findings, then recommendation. So that's going to be your project. I'm not going to give you extra projects. This is a project that you should work on. Work on it yourself. Understand what all of I was done there. Create the document it on GitHub. Then once you're done, send the link of that GitHub that you create to the group. So recommendation. So if you have recommendation, type it in. I'm not going to type anything there. So go to the data yourself, draw in your insights and get your result. Add recommendation to it. Once you are done, if you also have challenges that you encountered while working on the project, why not type in your challenges as well? So challenges, if you have challenges, also let them know. Challenges. So I think one of my projects, I did the fact that it took me like 2 days to know that the only thing causing error in my query was a comma. So if that's your own challenge, you can add it to as well. So once they are done, if you have references, things that you reference, why not? So once you are done, so let me just preview it. I'll come here and preview. I just showed you, but complete the rest yourself. I won't do everything. So overview, data source, the analysis that I've done, everything, and the codes. So once I'm done, let me scroll down here. The findings, type in your findings, type in your recommendation. If you have limitation as well, let us know the limitation that you have. If you have challenges or limitation, put that in yourself. So once you are done with it, once you are done with your whatever, once you are done, you can just, so come here to settings. So here in settings, do you want to save changes? Yes, I want to save. Okay, so cancel. I have to commit changes. So come here. Once you are done with your typing everything in your README file, come here and commit your changes. That is to change it. Yeah, commit changes. So it will update it. So once I'm done like that, you can go here, go back to come here to your North America retail sales retail, so you can see it here. So anyone that comes to this page, if it's made public, would see all that you've documented concerning that project. So that's not all. You have to attach file. So you can also bring in file. I can add file. So what I want to bring in is the file for my SQL codes as well as the data set I used. So I'll come here and click on upload files because I want to upload those files. So is that you drag them or you choose from your files. So I'll come here. The first one I want to bring in is the data set I used. So I'll come here to, I think I have it here in my myDataClique. Data set used is this. So this one. So you can select the two of them. Press on your shift button and highlight everything. Then open it to bring in the data you used. So this is loading the data you used. You can see uploading two files. Don't forget I said a repository is that's like that small folder or storage that can allow you to link or bring in related data, related files concerning a particular project together. So we have all the data. So you find them there. So I still want to bring in, one more, which is the one for my SQL query. So I'll go back to where I have it. I think I have it in this local DC. This is the SQL 22. Is it here? Nah, it's not here. I have it somewhere. So let me check where I have this. Where do I have this? My document for SQL. Where do I have it saved? Okay, Microsoft SQL Server, Express. So I think I have it saved somewhere. Okay, so let me just check. I don't want to stress myself. Let me check where I have this thing saved. So I'll come here to File, Recent File. Okay, so let me just. I'm trying to remember where the part. Okay, so it is on user God blessing document. Okay, user God's blessing document. I'll go back to where I have it to be sure. So it's in user. User God's blessing, documents, then SQL Server. So yeah, I have it here. So I'm bringing this one in, open it. So that would drag in that data. So we have this. Once I'm done, I would just commit the changes. So it will process all my files. So you can see you have the SQL code that you worked on. You have the data sets that you used, two of them that you used, the calendar data, date.cv, CSV, and this, and you have your README file. So anyone coming to your GitHub page will just go through this README file and will understand what you worked on without without you being there to explain to the person. I mean, so once you are done, we made it private. So click on settings, then go straight down. So this is where you can set, if you want to change the name of your repository, you can rename it. So go straight down. So when you go straight down, you would see here the danger zone. So I can change the visibility of my from private to change to public, and this will make it public. It will make it public so people will see it. If you want to delete a repository, just come down. You can see delete repository. If you delete, no going back. So let's just say I want to change to, let me change to public. I can always go back to change it anyways. So I want to make this repository public, make it public. I have read and understand this effect. So I'll make it public. Make public. So to make it public. So I have to put in my password to confirm. So it's now public. It's now public. So when I go back to let me go back to my account. So can you see that we have the North America sales retails? So I can right click to copy the link to this. Once I copy the link, let's say I copy this link address. I can add it to my portfolio. Come here or say add it, attach it to somewhere I want to, or send it to somebody. Control V. Let's assume you sent this to me now. Now hit enter. This should take that person directly to that report, that documentation, or whatever you've done on your GitHub account. So you can see the whole thing, all the files that you use, the code, the queries itself. You can see the documentation, starting from the project overview, data source, the tools used, the preparation and cleaning, the objective, your analysis with the codes that you've used. Then if you have your result and findings, you add them in. Recommendation, then if you have any challenges, add them to it. And that's, so you can also document. Remember how we created a report using Excel? So you'll be doing Power BI by next week. So Power BI class starts next week Wednesday. So more details, more information will pass across the rest of concerning that. So 6 to 8, I guess, from Wednesday. You have it 3 times: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next, so let's assume you want to add, which you're not going to do. I'm just showing you. Let's assume you want to add, you also want to edit with me. Just come here and click on this pencil icon to edit it. So let's assume you want to add maybe you created a dashboard. You want to document your dashboard, your reports, your project that has to do with creating a dashboard. So let's assume you want to bring in the image of that report. So let me just do it here. Of course, we didn't build a dashboard or a report, but I'm just showing you how that you can also document your project on a report you built either in Power BI or in Excel on GitHub as well. So let's say I made a screenshot. I think I have a screenshot here of a dashboard that I worked on. So let me come here to screenshot. Okay, let's say I want to bring this particular one in. I want to bring this particular one in. So all I have to do is I can drag. So drag this and paste it here. Sorry. I have to Control Z. We are done already. So let me so let's say I want to add that in. So I'll open that file where I have the image I want to bring in. Bring this here, paste so let's wait for it. It's trying to upload the file. So it will bring the picture, to bring out the picture. But this is how you can bring in, document your work using GitHub, and you share a link to whoever you want to see it. So assignment for us is like a project. I'm not giving us extra project to work on. Just go over this one we've done in the class today, work on it again and understand what we've done. If you have questions, my DM is open. Then document your work on GitHub. If you don't have a GitHub account, create one, document it, share your link to the group. That's going to be a submission. Thank you very much. Any question? Yeah. I know the class today was very long, but I'm glad we were able to wrap up with Microsoft SQL Server. So, are we here?
Yes. Good evening. Well done, ma. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. The question I want to ask is, maybe when I try it on my own, I'll understand better. There was a time you tried to create a new column under the other fact table.
Okay.
You rename it as row number, but I noticed that the new column is not under the other fact table. I don't know
It
if
was
you get them.
it wasn't there. It is a
Yeah.
part that said that it noticed that we added a new column, but it's going to delete it. So I think it deleted it and created the model. You can try it on your own first and see.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Any other question? Anything? Any question? Anybody wants to say something? Okoyemi, how are you doing? Paul, how are you doing? Can we hear me? Hello, can we hear me or we've slept off? If you're saying something, you're muted.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I want to
Can
hear
you
from
hear
Paul.
so much
I
for
want to hear from Paul and from Okoyemi Usman. Okay, so I guess they are not here with us or probably doing something else. So how was the class? How was the SQL class? How was it? I know some of us are new to this and it's going to take a lot. You have to sit and drink water on it. So how was the class? Let me hear from everybody. Let me start with. Okay, Anna, you want to say something? How was the class?
Yeah, it was a lot.
I know, right?
And then it was also interesting.
Okay,
Yeah, I was able to learn like new things.
okay.
So yeah, but I guess I guess I have to go back to it and like practice and practice and practice because it's a lot.
Definitely.
But
Definitely, you have to practice. If you don't practice that, so I was sharing how that there are 3 sites. I would share a link to those sites on a Google Classroom where you can still go and practice more on SQL. We have the W3 School SQL. We have SQL from Mode. We also have SQL from Tutorials Point. So I would share those things with us on our classroom. So you can watch, you can go over them, practice the SQL there and understand because SQL is very, very broad. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure with all we've done in the class so far on SQL, it's enough to get you a job. Then you can continue or learn the rest on the job. It's enough knowing this very well. What we've done in the class very, very is enough to get to a job that requires SQL. Yes. So, anybody wants to share how was today's class? What did you pick from today's class?
Hello,
Okay.
good evening.
Hi. Good evening, Agoy.
So today's class was actually very nice,
Okay.
but the thing is that once I get it there, I'm a programmer. There's nothing anybody wants to tell me. There's nothing anybody wants to tell me. I'm a programmer, but I think it's straightforward. It's just that we have to understand how to use certain commands and certain functions. I think that's all.
Exactly.
Because generally, I wanted to ask before, but I was just thinking that when I go back to it, I think I'm going to understand. But let me just say it.
Okay.
While using the commands, when you're starting the commands like select
Okay.
and all, you say select from then the table.
Okay.
Select from the table, but there are some functions that you are using that you have to select from, like you select maybe some columns, then you now
Okay.
at the end you now write something like from this particular table. I'm not like, okay, when do we use the from, like first or after, or you don't understand what I'm saying?
I don't get what you're trying to say. You'd have called my attention when we were doing this. I would have explained better. But maybe
Oh,
when you can always, of course, you can always enter my DM and would talk about those stuffs.
yes,
But
yes,
I
yes,
really
no
don't get
problem.
it. All right, so Yetunde, want to say something? Yetunde. Thank you, Agoy.
Yeah, so I think what he was trying to ask is, when you select then the ash from,
Okay.
that
Okay.
select all from,
Okay.
that one we are selecting the whole table. We are not specifying the particular column.
Okay.
Why the other one where we are when we are identifying, maybe selecting a particular column, maybe select customer name, comma, customer ID, then from
Okay.
table. I don't know, that maybe that's what he was trying to.
Well, we can, if he doesn't understand, he knows, my DM is open, Agoy. So I can
No
explain
problem,
what
no
you're
problem.
trying
Actually,
to.
that's what I
Yeah.
was talking about, but
Okay, that's what you're talking
yeah,
about. Okay.
yes,
Thank you. Do you understand now?
yes, she. But if I have more
Okay.
questions, I'll enter your DM. Thank you.
No problem. Fine. All right. Any other person who wants to share what he or she picked in today's class? I know it's a lot to take in. You have to go by it. Else, you will not understand. So going by it to be the best.
Minimum of 2 days.
I know, right?
Minimum of 2 days.
Okay. Anybody wants to say something about the class? Then we'll wrap up the class. We're done. Anybody? Okay. So Adeyemi, are you there? Is Adeyemi there? I don't know why Paul and Opeyemi are not saying something. Have you guys left off? Okay, how about Priscilla? Priscilla, are you there? Victoria, are you there? Okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, I'm
Thank you
here.
so much for the class.
Okay, Priscilla.
The class,
Priscilla. Priscilla, you say
ma'am?
something?
I said the class was great. I was actually answering you before
Okay,
before the
okay,
call
okay.
was over.
All right.
I'll
Thank you very
just go
much.
through it, and what is the deadline
Definitely.
to submit the assignment?
Let's say next week Sunday. Deadline next week Sunday. Let's do next week because this should take you just 1 day. 1 day to do it. So yeah. Let's say next week
Okay,
Sunday.
ma'am.
Work on this
Okay,
project
thank you, ma'am.
yourself. Document your work on GitHub. Send the link to your work either on the classroom or on the classroom and also on the group. Yeah, thank you so much everybody for joining again tonight. I know it's as today I really stretched us, but thank you for staying up to this time. Me again, I won't be coming up again to take anything. Only if I want to take the LinkedIn optimization session. I'll be coming up next weekend or next 2 weeks, depends. The next class is coming up next week Wednesday on Power BI, and the facilitator is Mr. Favor. So thank you so much everybody for tonight. Thank you Adeyemi Adeniga. Thank you Yetunde. Thank you so much Paul,
Hi.
Agoy, Okoyemi,
Thank you
Victoria.
very
You want
much.
to say something?
Yes, ma. You said next week. Is okay? Is it like next week or this Wednesday coming?
This coming Wednesday. This Wednesday coming that we're having Power BI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, God, yo.
Don't worry. You will get this.
Next
We've
week
got
so
it
that
covered.
can like put our mind to learn all these things. Me, I've been down, so I have backlogs of classes to watch.
Sorry. It is real. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
See you
ma. Thank
all.
you, ma. The class today was so amazing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Enjoy your week, everybody.